Happy Tuesday.
I genuinely thought it was Wednesday for a good hour or so this morning and had to re-vector myself. So happy Tuesday. Meg, how are we doing?
I wish it was a Wednesday because then all of the debauchery of last night would be behind us, but it's not. So, but before we get into that, I do want to do a shout out to TJ Oshie, whose father passed away. So
definitely, we're about to lay into the Capitals. That is something good to note.
Yeah, so definitely sending thoughts and prayers to the Oshie family, the Caps organization, -1. Just kind of keeping everyone in our prayers. But let's get into the debate.
A big guy in the DC area, which is really important. But so is Tom Wilson, who we're about to just swan dive into. So
I'm usually the first person to defend him, and I won't. I refuse.
You know, I'm really glad to hear that because I wasn't sure where you were going to take this.
Yeah, I had a few people tweet at me being like, what does she think? And I'm like, I'm going to save it for here. I think that was so uncalled for. I didn't see it live, but watching it back was just unreal. That was so uncalled for. The fact that the only penalty was $5,000 fine is ridiculous to me. Didn't even take into consideration the Panarin hit. Like, unreal to me.
What bothers me is that literally none of it had to occur. Like, you did not even have to hit Buchnevich.
The play was over.
If you didn't do that, there was no, like, the entire situation with Artemi Panarin wouldn't have occurred at all. And then, like, why he's already on the ground. You're already on top of him. There was nothing occurring, and he was like, you know what? It's like when preschoolers are at the playground in line, and the teacher's like, be quiet, just stand there, and one of them's like, there was no reason for it.
Out of nowhere, it was so uncalled for, the most unnecessary hit. Like, and I'm disappointed in Tom Wilson. I'm more disappointed in the outcome.
Yeah.
The fact that both of the Rangers players also got penalties, right?
Yeah, and Tom Wilson was allowed to play through the rest of the game, which is what a lot of obviously the Rangers had a frustrating night to begin with because they were eliminated from the playoffs. What'd you say?
You had to wait 10 minutes.
Yes, but he was allowed to finish out the game. Yes. And so the Rangers tensions were already high. They were eliminated from the playoffs. You know, they're already upset. They're getting a little scrappy. And then Wilson's allowed to play the rest of the game after he literally tried to freaking kill Artemi Panarin on the ice. Like, imagine
imagine something had gone horribly wrong in that. And
so the more that I
trust him,
yeah,
brain damage. Like, that was so dangerous.
The more that I watched the video too, and someone did tweet and say, like, that was incredibly dangerous for the referees, which is hugely correct. But also, Panarin is
all the refs.
Panarin is blessed that he didn't get skate somewhere up high because he was on the ground. And that would have been accidental. But obviously, who put him in that situation? Tom Wilson. And I know that you're a huge Wilson fan, and I do appreciate that you're not defending him. But there are quite a few people on Twitter that are defending him, and I was like, this is odd. Like, and they're all saying, like, he's a great member of the community, like, blah, 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 get over it. And I'm like, you can be a great member of the community and play really inappropriate and dirty hockey. And that's what he's doing.
I think if it had ended before it got to Panarin, I would be like, whatever. But it's the entire thing thrown together that has me like, it's too far.
That's what I said on Twitter. I was like, there are multiple inappropriate actions here. Like, there should have been, like, separate. It's like when you get tried in court for, like, 5 different charges. Like, he should have been tried for, like, multiple charges there.
Yes. Unreal.
And so I was looking back because we were debating, you know, assuming he was going to get a hearing. Like, I'm shocked he didn't even get a hearing. Like, that's insane. But
when people were, like, throwing their predictions out there, if we hadn't heard yet before this, I was going to, like, throw mine out there. That, like, I genuinely didn't think he was going to make it to the first round. Like, I thought he was going to be out for most of the first round of the playoffs for the Caps.
Well, because his last suspension was 7 games, so it would have had to be at least that.
And it was so much softer than this.
So the Department of Player Safety has gone incredibly soft. And so when I was looking at
the action itself.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
Which means, so they used to be harder on these things, and now they're, for lack of a term, like you said, getting soft. And I'm interested to know why, because they are trying to get these dirty plays out of the league. Like, I don't understand where we don't want these hits, we don't want fights anymore. Where we're getting from point A to point B, because why are they putting up with this behavior? Obviously, it's sticking out more, right? Like, there are less players like Tom Wilson in the league. There are less enforcers. So when it does occur, it looks really egregious. But it still needs to be punished if you don't want it there anymore.
Yeah. This is where we hit a point. Like, they should have, if they really want to go in that direction, which I kind of feel like they don't actually right now, they should have made an example out of him for last night.
That's what someone was saying on Twitter as well. The Short Shift podcast was saying that they should have treated him like Raffi Torres. If you were everything he did was blatant, because it was after the play was dead. So he blatantly hit Buchnevich. He blatantly pulled Artemi Panarin to the ground with his hair. And even though the play was dead, it was still inappropriate action, the same way that Raffi Torres hit up high. I mean, if you want to do that, then obviously he did it with intent. Punish him that way.
Yeah.
But they didn't make an example out of him, I think. And part of it is, like we were saying,
they basically just like validified it. Or validated. That's the word. I'm an idiot. They basically validated his actions with this.
So then part of it, I mean, not that I want to like in any way defend what Tom Wilson was thinking when he did it, but like, I'm interested because there are a lot of people, like when I did the burger review last week, a lot of people were like, why would you even buy that? Why would you ever support like anything Tom Wilson did? Like I said, Tom Wilson's a huge member of the DC community, and that's why a lot of Caps fans do defend him, because he is a pivotal member in like community service, supporting homeless people, supporting even like the dog animal shelters.
Huge.
I mean, obviously he's a great guy off the ice. And so it's interesting what he's like. People are horrendous to guys like that when they make mistakes on the ice. And there were a lot of people that we got people throwing the C word around on our Instagram when we were asking what
that word, but whoa.
Like what Tom Wilson did. And I was like, people, let's have a healthy discussion about hockey without throwing those types of words around. They're still human beings. So
here's my question for you, Shan. Rangers are out of contention. The East is decided. They have nothing to gain from this game tonight. If you were the Rangers, would you, or tomorrow, I think they play, would you just like go like ape shit on him? Would you just be aggressive?
I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a scrappy game. It's going to be interesting. But I think the Rangers are a young team. They traded Brandon Lemieux. Like, he would have been the guy that would have really gone at Tom Wilson. I don't know that they have a guy that's – I mean, of course, any guy can really go at him, but they don't have an enforcer player anymore.
In their, like, general playing structure is going to be that huge.
And they're a young team. Like, they don't have that established, we're coming back at you. I mean, they might, but I don't know. I think it might kind of come off as when you're in the third period and you're going to lose that Stanley Cup series, and you just are like picking fights because you're mad, not because you're like trying to make a message or make a statement. I think it's going to come off more that way, personally.
Fine. I'd love it.
I mean, yeah, I think the Capitals deserve it at this point. Like, they're defending. I remember again, we're mourning TJ Oshie's father, but I am going to point out an interview that very much frustrated me, because this is not the first time Tom Wilson in the last like 2 months has had a very questionable hit and a poor result from the Department of Player Safety. He had a very bad hit on Brandon Carlo from the Bruins, and Brandon Carlo has not been able to return because he concussed him so badly on a high hit on the boards. So he's supposed to return soon, by the way, I believe. But Tom Wilson was only fined $5,000. There was no hearing. Everyone was very upset about it. So now this is why it's so frustrating now. And when he hit Brandon Carlo, TJ Oshie was like, we're just playing hockey. I don't know why everybody's having a fuss. And everyone on the Bruins was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're a good guy. Like, you're a stand-up guy. You're a huge member of the community, a huge member of the NHL, like a big guy on Team USA. So everyone knows him. And they were like, that's bullshit. Brad Marchand said it, and he was like, I have had my faults, but that's bullshit. Like, I don't know. It's frustrating watching the Capitals defend. You know, when people have bad hits, it's usually like, we don't put up with that.
Yeah.
That's not coming out of Washington right now, which is really frustrating to see.
For sure. Speaking of coming out in Washington, not like that. Ovechkin came back, one shift, out again.
Interesting. What's he struggling with?
Lower body?
Lower body, okay.
I could be wrong.
I mean,
feels right.
Assuming, again, that Wilson was going to be suspended, I thought it was going to be a huge blow for them for the first round because, again, the East is so competitive. We've got our final 4 teams that are going to be in the league. The Capitals don't look that great. That was going to be a huge blow both to their locker room and to their roster, but especially if Ovechkin is out, then, I mean, that's more significant than Wilson being out.
I really think we can't speak too soon about whether or not Wilson will be in that first round because we don't know what's going to happen when they play again tomorrow.
Oh, you mean you think he'll do something else stupid?
I think there's going to be a lot of high tension.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting it past. I will never ever put it past Tom Wilson to do something else dumb to get himself in trouble again. Particularly knowing the tension, like you said, between the Rangers and the Capitals. However, I don't think he's going to be the one to instigate it.
No. I think someone else is going to instigate it, but I think he's going to finish it.
It's possible. I mean, it hasn't happened between the Bruins and the Capitals after Brandon Carlo, but we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be an exciting game. I don't know. I don't have the schedule in front of me for tomorrow, so I don't know what other games are going on, but it should be exciting.
We'll get to that. We'll bring it up at the end. But let's talk about some other things that happened yesterday that should have been bigger news, but weren't because of all this. Shannon, congratulations.
Finally, the Bruins have clinched their well-deserved playoff spot. I don't know why it took this goddamn long, but the Bruins are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We don't even know if they'll stay in the 4th seed. Those top 4 seeds are, again, like a point apart. So I think they're out of, like, mathematically, they're unable to get to the 1st seed, but the 2nd seed is up for grabs, I believe. Again, I am no mathematician, but...
Well, 1st and 2nd are tied right now, so if they can't get to 2nd.
Ooh, Twitter is such a liar. Let's look.
I was going to say, we're tied with the Caps right now for 1st.
Sports data is temporarily unavailable.
The Oilers also clinched their spot last night, so that is the 2nd team in the North to be solidified. Still a lot of games to be played in the North, so that's going to take the longest to fill out. But the East...
the Bruins hopped up to 3rd. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you're already in 3rd. So
people, I had plans last night. I didn't look at these standings.
But like I was saying, the East is now the only division to be fully filled out, the only division to know all 4 teams. So hopefully we will get some, I don't know, I don't think any of them are set up for tonight to clinch anything, but we will obviously keep you all posted. But let's jump into the games of last night. What got us to this point? The Bruins beat the Devils 3-0.
But Scott Wedgwood put up a gosh darn fight. We were halfway through the 2nd period, and the Bruins had outshot the Devils 22-5, and it was 0-0. So shout out to the Devils. Once again, you are underrated. You put up a gosh darn fight every single time, and it shows. Thank you.
Another thing we would have expected, the Capitals beat the Rangers. That was expected going into this, just not in that fashion. Some unexpected scores in the East. The Flyers beat the Penguins 7-2. That
was not a pretty game. It was bad for all.
I couldn't do it. I was like, nope. Also unexpected, which we called this yesterday, that everyone has to fall to the Sabres at some point. The Sabres beat the Islanders 4-2.
Which was big for the Bruins. They hopped up to 3rd with their win. Like you said, now there's only 4 points separating 1st and 4th, which is just mind-boggling. Like I don't even know if you need to seed them at that point. Like
we're all just doing a free-for-all. Get us like a 4.
So right now, if if things were to stay in this 4-point situation, mind you, the Bruins have 5 games left.
That's up.
Okay, so the Capitals have 4 games left. They're in first with 71 points. The Penguins have
us going into a first round against each other.
That would be an incredible stream, and we would do every gosh darn game, let me tell you. So the Penguins are in second place. They've got 3 games left. That's why they're in second. They have 1 less game to play. They also have 71 points.
No, it's because even though we have 1 more win, we have 2 more losses. That's
why. The Bruins have 5 games left at 68 points. So they're 3 points back with 2 games left over the Penguins. The Islanders have 4 games left with 1 point behind the Bruins. So really, the Bruins have a lot of advantage here to take advantage, particularly because they play the Capitals and the Islanders in their last 2 games.
Yeah, that's going to be such a game changer. That's going to be what changes everything here.
Yeah, I was dead wrong about their ability to or to not win the division. So it'll be really interesting to see.
2 against the Sabres and 1 more with the Flyers tonight.
We'll see. So if things were to stand, do you take a pick? As a Penguins fan, which team in the East would you prefer to be matched up against?
Like right now?
Yeah. When do the playoffs start? 2 weeks from now?
No, the Capitals. They really struggle with us.
See, that was going to be my answer as well.
Mm-hmm.
We don't play well against the Islanders, I think the
Islanders are
bad right now.
The Islanders are struggling. So I think whoever goes into them is going to feel kind of okay. But as a Penguins fan, the Capitals struggle with us a lot. So I think that would give us decent chances.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Bruins play really well against the Capitals. They play horrendous against the Islanders, and the Penguins and the Bruins are pretty evenly matched. It's usually that would go to 7 games, and it would be horrible to watch.
Dream them all.
Oh, it would be such a good 7-game stream for the Slapshot Sweethearts. Let me tell you. All right, so moving into. Did we cover all the East games? Yeah.
Yes. Let's do Central. The Stars needed this, but they couldn't get it. The Panthers won 5-4.
In overtime, though, correct?
What?
It was overtime, though, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. I didn't write it
down.
Yeah.
They took the Stars were able to gain a point, which is keeping them desperately alive. They're 4 points back from the 4th seed right now, and they've got 1 game in hand over the Predators.
Yeah. So we will see. Basically, the 4 that clinched, or no, that's not true. The two that have clinched won last night. The Hurricanes also beat the Blackhawks 5-2. But then the Predators, who are trying to hold on to that number 4, did beat the Blue Jackets 4-3.
Yeah, that was a huge win for the Predators because if they had lost and the Stars had won, it would have been a tie series.
They needed that for sure. Let's jump out west. We talked about this yesterday being like, who knows? The Wild beat Vegas 6-5.
Interesting. Yeah. That's a huge one.
Yeah, that's
and now it's only so. I mean, this is comparable to the East, really. The top 3 seeds are only separated by 4 points.
Yeah,
I mean, the Blues are that. Then there's 15 points separating 3rd and 4th, but the top 3 seeds, it's really critical.
But also, you can't even count out the Blues because like they can beat the top teams easily.
They can. No, they can. But in terms of seeding, it's really anyone's. I can't even comfortably say that the Wild are going to keep that 3rd slot.
Yeah, no. I think as a Vegas fan, the team I wouldn't want to face is the Wild. True. In that first round, for sure.
I know. I mean, I was always a Yotes supporter. I'm still butthurt about the Blues in 2019. However, the Yotes are sitting 5 points back from the Blues and the Blues have, 3 games in hand on them. The Yotes only have 3 games left to play and they're 5 points back. I'm seeing their chances dwindling.
They're diminishing there. Yes. And then we had, like we said, the Blues beat the Ducks 3-1. The Kings beat the Coyotes.
It's like, I checked this morning and I was like, what am I looking at?
I literally thought I was like misreading all of it. Except for this last game.
Well, what was confusing about the Kings winning was that they jumped over the Sharks. I was always like, the Sharks aren't out of this. They jump over the Sharks in the standings.
I remind you every day, They were down by like 1 point.
They jump over the Sharks in the standings. They eliminate the Sharks, and they're not eliminated.
They're not.
So
it was close. But the Avalanche beat the Sharks, so that also helped seal that fate.
Correct.
Also,
So,
why do I never call Vegas the Golden Knights? Like everyone else, I go by like their team, not their
because Golden Knights doesn't roll off the tongue. That's why I didn't like it when they picked it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, let's head to the North here. The Canadians beat the Maple Leafs.
Are the Canucks eliminated yet, man?
Nope, I don't think so. The Senators beat the Jets.
No way, again?
But the Oilers did beat the Canucks. Last night was like 50 shades of fucked up hockey. Like
the Canucks are still not eliminated now.
Yeah. Sorry. But we do have some decent hockey tonight. The Penguins will have their final game against the Flyers after last night. I don't know what to expect. I definitely wouldn't put DeSmith back in goal, but granted, I don't want Jari in goal.
It was DeSmith in goal? It wasn't Jari?
Yes.
My heavens.
I don't know if it changed at some point because I stopped watching because I was sad. But DeSmith was in goal last night. So hopefully if they use Jari tonight, it'll have a better outcome. I don't know. The Islanders are also playing the Sabres after that upset last night. So hopefully the Islanders can pull this out. But like we say, everyone must fall to the Sabres at some point. So maybe they'll have another one. I don't know. It would definitely help both of us out. And then the Bruins, are facing the Devils again. The East just has a bunch of back-to-backs. Fun. Then in the Central Division, we have the Blackhawks taking on the Hurricanes. Do you think the Canes will take it? I do.
Yeah, I mean, the Blackhawks are defeated after their tough elimination last night. And you know what? I was rooting for the underdog Blackhawks because the Stars have not proven that they want it at all.
I don't think they're just like, let us coast, let us have a break. They want summer. They want their summer vacation to start.
Who doesn't want summer, man? It's 85 degrees. You wouldn't know it because I'm
I was like, we wear sweatshirts. I live at the beach. It's like in the 70s.
It's like 87 degrees out right now. So when I go outside, I'm gonna like melt into the concrete. It's a
deal. I'm gonna drink outside tonight while I do my final. And then lastly, tonight in the North, we have the Oilers taking on the Canucks. So we will see what happens there after last night's win for the Oilers.
Can the Canucks get eliminated tonight if they
do they?
Can they? They have 41 points. But no,
but
probably not. They've only played 46 games, and the Calgary only has 47.
Yeah.
And
what were you asking me about tomorrow?
On Earth.
You asking about the Rangers Caps tomorrow?
Yeah, we wanted to look at tomorrow's schedule. Let's do that real quick.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, which we'll go over tomorrow again, Vegas plays the Wild again, so they want that win in Vegas. The Caps play the Rangers. Dallas plays the Lightning, not the best setup for them. The Canadians already subbed. Fuck yeah. The Canadians will play the Senators. So maybe the Senators want another win. Who knows? The Preds will play the Blue Jackets, so that'll be something for the Preds to hold on to, which will help them in the Central situation if the Stars, as we would assume, would lose to the Lightning on Wednesday.
We would assume.
The Blues are taking on the Ducks. Blues should get that. The Avalanche taking on the Sharks. Never say never anymore. That was a close game for them yesterday. And then we have the Jets and the Flames in the North. Oh, and then the Kings take on the Yotes again on Wednesday.
Interesting stuff, man.
Guys, there's so much happening leading up to these playoffs. And let me tell you, we will be here every day.
Except for Friday. We won't be here Friday. I'm going on vacation.
Drinking a day, which will be my day, one of my 3 days without between semesters for school. But every day but this Friday.
Make sure, like we said, make sure you hit the like and subscribe because we will be doing mad live game coverage at night for the playoffs. Like, I'll be sitting in front of the computer every gosh darn night with a glass of wine. So you best hit the like and subscribe button so that we can give you live coverage. If it's a Bruins and Penguins series, whoo! That won't be wellness.
We will see. But for now, It is Tuesday. Watch some hockey tonight. Things are going to be moving in the East Division depending on what happens in these games. So make sure you check it out. In the meantime, follow us on Twitter, @SweetheartsPod, Instagram, /Sweethearts. We'll post all the updates there, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.